It's business news with Kate Moody. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Shona.
Today we're starting off here in France, and it looks like Yahoo is packing its bags and getting out of here.
Yeah, the internet giant has said that it'll be moving not just its French, but all of its European-based operations to Ireland. Now, that means that all data from Yahoo's email, messenger, and photo services will all be streamed through Dublin, the company describing the move as an attempt to streamline its operations. Now, Yahoo does say that it will still continue to pay taxes here in France, but it's widely seen as a move to try and limit Yahoo's exposure to tax rates here. The corporate tax rate in France is 34% compared to just 12.5% in Ireland. Google, Facebook, and Apple have all made similar moves in recent years, and it's come to the attention of President François Hollande, who says he'll be raising the issue during a state visit to the US next week.
These big groups which situate themselves in countries with low corporate tax rates, we have to do something about them. And when I go to the US in a few days' time, we have agreed with President Obama to make a joint effort on tax harmonization.
In the US, a former manager at the hedge fund SAC Capital has been found guilty of insider trading. A federal jury in New York convicted Matthew Martoma of conspiracy and securities fraud charges for his role in a scheme that helped SAC avoid losses and rake in profits to the tune of $275 million. Prosecutors in New York called it the most lucrative insider trading scheme in history. Martoma could face up to 45 years in jail. Now, SAC was founded by billionaire Steve Cohen. He himself has not faced any charges of wrongdoing, but he does face civil action from U.S. regulators who say that he didn't properly supervise his traders and allowed them to conduct these kinds of insider deals. Overall, SAC paid out a total of $1.8 billion last year to settle similar charges.
Now, we've been talking a lot about the Winter Olympics, which are set to officially open later today. They're being touted as the most expensive games in history. Tell us more about that, Kate.
Well, the price tag for Sochi seems to come in at about $51 billion for the moment. That's $11 billion more than was spent in Beijing for the Summer Games in 2008. And those games had more than 3 times as many events. France 24's Delano de Souza has been looking at what the money has been spent on.
Sochi is putting on the final touches before the games begin. $51 billion have been spent, and now the seaside resort is ready to welcome the world. Everything's been done on a grand scale. 60,000 workers were involved in constructing 11 venues, 77 bridges, and 400 kilometers of roads. A swanky new airport will see around 400,000 passengers during the games, and to cope with these numbers, the city called in for reinforcements from Singapore's Changi Airport.
Сингапур выделяет где-то порядка 15-20 человек.
Firstly, in Singapore, everything is good concerning services. They're also good regarding forecasting and planning, especially during a crisis.
Regarding security, Russian authorities have bypassed the budget. The city has been transformed into a virtual fortress. Close to 100,000 security personnel have been mobilized. On the streets, everything has been designed to keep visitors and athletes safe, while making them feel welcome.
We took English courses during the summer. Authorities made us learn the language.
With the games, business activity is likely to spike considerably, and the sex industry hasn't been left behind. The event is expected to attract a large number of sex workers. With such a large amount of money spent, the games have been plagued with concerns over corruption, something the country's president denies.
Let's take a look at the markets now. We saw a very good day on Wall Street on Thursday. U.S. stocks seeing their best gains in 7 weeks. The major indices all closing up over 1% there. This was partly on better than expected weekly jobs data. The number of people applying for unemployment benefits for the first time fell by about 20,000, and that's setting an optimistic tone for the monthly figures, which will be released later this Friday. Now, we've seen that positive sentiment mostly carrying over in Asia. Japan's Nikkei is trading up over 2% there. Shanghai, the only major index in the red there for the moment.
Now let's end with a somewhat unusual auction here in Paris. Did you know that Pope Francis owned a motorbike?
Well, he doesn't.
rode it?
He doesn't anymore. He owned it for a little while.
Do we have pictures of him on this bike?
We don't know if he's ever actually taken it out for a spin, maybe around the Vatican, but I think that would be behind closed doors. Anyway, this is a Harley-Davidson motorcycle that was actually given to the Pope last June in honor of the firm's 110th anniversary. Now, he's got the Pope Mobile, so I think he wasn't really into the two wheels anyway there. So he signed the motorbike Francesco, and it was auctioned off to an anonymous buyer for over 240,000 euros here in Paris. That's about 20 times its estimated value. Proceeds are going to renovate a soup kitchen and hostel for the poor in Rome. The auction house also threw in a black leather jacket, which sold for around 57,000 euros. I think it didn't go with the papal robes.
Yeah, well, with a ride like that, I bet you go straight to heaven with that, huh? Thank you very much, Kate Moody, for the day's business news.